we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Hey, welcome to my channel. I am back after a long, albeit intermittent hiatus. And before I get into anything, I just want to take a second to tell everybody who has followed me and watched my videos through this whole year how grateful I am, because I've done a shit job of it, quite frankly. I posted inconsistently and been real, in my own head. I've taken a lot of time, a lot of different times to just work on myself. And you guys have been super patient with me on that. And for those of you who have messaged me and reached out to me and said, encouraged me to make more videos or ask me questions or just made sure that I was okay. I can never tell you enough how grateful I am, because this whole year it's been this whole thing of the universe really telling me to do this and me feeling real dumb about it. I'm uncomfortable, I'm insecure. Why does anyone want to listen to me? I've just been really in my head about the whole thing. And then aside from that, I've been doing a lot of personal work and I've been on my own journey. And just between those two things, I've just kind of left this whole thing behind. Picked it up, put it down, and some of you have really, even though I've made so little content, and put so little effort into it, some of you guys have really just cheered me on, and I want to just take a second, first of all, to thank you guys personally, genuinely, thank you. One more thing before I get into the content of this video. It's been a while since I made this disclaimer. It's definitely time that I do it again. So, for the record, I don't know shit about fuck. I am nobody's guru. I'm not claiming to be all-knowing or wise or anything like that. I am a person on a journey seeking higher learning, and I am intending to share my experiences and share my journey for anybody whom it may potentially help. And so, speaking of my journeys, that brings us to today's video. For me, I have learned that life here on Earth is really part school, part playground. It's a playground. We get to go and have experiences and have fun and live and breathe air and just everything that life can be. That's a playground. It's also a school where you are given information and given lessons and then tested on them. And if you pass them, gold star. And if you don't, you do that shit again and you just keep doing it again until you get it. And that's what happened with me. This particular lesson, understanding of alignment, actually started in April of 2019. It began with a particularly intense ayahuasca ceremony. And then a series of tests took place, which we're not going to discuss because that shit is embarrassing and I'm an idiot. And it involves poor choices in men and just generally being dumb, which is fine. I'm learning and that was necessary. But I only just now, it is November 2020, finally got it all. So not exactly a fast learner, but I'm working on it. The simplest explanation that I can give for what I have learned alignment to be is when your conscious desires and what you are actively manifesting with your thoughts is or matches your purpose, your soul's purpose. So it is when what you desire is what your mission is, which is essentially just knowing yourself. You could summarize it to say knowing yourself, but that seems a little too simplistic because the thing about it is when you know yourself, what your purpose is and what is going to be what you desire. Like what your purpose is will bring you joy. So in summary, that's a tangent. I did a terrible job of explaining this. I'm already not off to a great start. My explanation of what alignment is when your conscious desires and what you want matches your soul's purpose. When you know yourself well enough to know your soul's purpose and that becomes your desire. That is alignment. As soon as I made my outline for this video, and before I was getting ready to start recording it, I went ahead and checked on YouTube and Google to see what other people in this community were saying about alignment and what it is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I found two primary explanations that I would specifically like to address. One of them is amongst the law of attraction community, there is the notion that everything in reality is the manifestation of your thoughts. And that's not inaccurate. Your external world is a reflection of your internal world. That being said, what it does not take into account is the idea that if what you are manifesting is not aligned with your soul's purpose, you are fighting a larger force, which is your higher self or the greater of the universe, essentially, right? So, for example, if, say, for instance, you were meant to be a doctor in San Francisco, like there was a bunch of lives that you were going to save, was going to cause this, and that effect, like a butterfly effect, right? But what you wanted to be was a rodeo clown in Texas, that shit ain't going to work. Like, yes, you can with your thoughts manifest that, but you're just going to run into problems. And it's never really going to click, and you're always going to feel like you're missing something because you are not in alignment with your soul's purpose. There's this notion that alignment is simply when your thoughts are thinking the thoughts that you want them to think, in that as long as you're not straying, it's like a anti-bad thought idea. Like alignment is when you no longer have bad thoughts or something. I've found a lot of that, and I want to address that specifically. If you're watching this video and you have been consuming a lot of law of attraction videos and you come across this notion, I want to specifically address that. Like, yes, you can manifest your reality. Absolutely. Your external world is your internal world. However, you have to know yourself to know what it is you actually truly want and desire. Then you're in alignment. The other one that I found that was pretty prominent was the idea that alignment is just when you feel good. And that I have a lot of issues with. One is the idea that if you're in alignment, your life is always going to be just tits, like all the time. Like if you're in alignment, everything's just going to be gravy train. But that's craziness. Life is a combination of both positive and negative experiences. And you require those harder times to learn the lessons that you need in order to have the more positive experiences. You need to have those uncomfortable situations in order for you to learn lessons, in order to be able to grow enough to have the positive outcome. Like being in alignment is not having negative experiences. Being in alignment is accepting those experiences, knowing that it is for your highest good, learning the lesson, and then moving forward from there. Once your conscious manifestations and desires are in alignment with your soul's purpose, manifestation becomes effortless. Obstacles are removed because you are now working with the divine flow of the universe. Because now what you are working on is what the universe is working on for you, what your higher self is working on for you. It's what everything is working on for you. And now you're all working together. Now it becomes seamless and it flows. And not to say you won't still have negative experiences or problems. There are still always lessons to be learned. If you're here, you have shit to learn, period. Like, it's that simple at the end of the day. So it's not that you won't ever have bad experiences. It's just that you have a sense of peace and purpose and a sense of alignment when you are pursuing the thing that is intended for your soul. And this series is intended to be a step-by-step guide, essentially, on how to, in practical terms, begin to be in alignment with your soul's purpose and find your soul's purpose and how to discover it and how to go with the flow and not fight everything. That is the purpose of this series. And today, I'm just going to go over one very important aspect of it. And then in the remaining series, I'll go over some other components. But today, we're just going to talk about one part, one practical step that you can take in your life, one mental one mental alteration that you could make in order to get yourself moving towards the right direction. Okay, so now that I've explained alignment according to how I've experienced it, I'd like to go a step further to give you a deeper understanding based on the lessons that I've learned and also practical steps to get into alignment. And it really all boils down to authenticity and really just sticking to your guns. So if you are 100% authentic, and you say to somebody, this is how I feel, this is what I want, and this is in terms of primarily relationships, any kind of relationship, friendship, or romantic, business, otherwise doesn't matter, but with relationships specifically. If you approach a subject from a place of compassion and understanding, and you express to the best of your ability your authentic desires and wants and feelings, and the person whom you are speaking to is not in agreement with those thoughts and feelings, etc., it doesn't work. It doesn't align. And by trying to force it, you are only delaying your own progress and prohibiting yourself from finding the people who actually align with your purpose. If you are doing a collaborative project and your vision for the project does not match the vision of the person who you are collaborating with, it is not in alignment. If it was in alignment with your soul's actual purpose, everything would flow. So the practical application, the practical step that I want to give you is, if it doesn't fucking fit, just walk. Like, you have to. And it sucks. It sucks to be like, oh, I wanted this to work. It doesn't work. Fucking, oh well. Like, you gotta suck it up, buttercup. And also, the vulnerability is also very difficult, because oftentimes to speak authentically and to speak our truth, something we'll get more into later in the series, is super difficult. It's so uncomfortable. In a world where authenticity is so rare, it is an uncomfortable act. It is a act of rebellion almost. But it is, in my experience, the most spiritual thing you can do, to just be straightforward and honest from compassion. That's the trick. And we'll also get into that later. But I mean, if you're just like, I think you're a fucking dick, that's not you speaking your truth. That's just you being an asshole who hasn't understood the other person's perspective, okay? Doesn't matter if they are in fact being a dick, because sometimes people are dicks. That's irrelevant. In the case of, say, someone being a dick, instead of you're being a dick, you have to take responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings when you approach a conversation with authenticity. And you have to actually spend the time to get to know yourself. Something that I'm going to drill in for this entire series is getting to know yourself, right? If you get to know yourself, you start to see your own shadows. Get into that also later. This is really just one big long teaser for things to come. But let's say it's a romantic situation and the guy is ghosting you and you're pretty sure he's sleeping with somebody else. He doesn't really talk to you, but then he hits you up and he's like, yo, wanna bang? Or whatever, right? Just keeping it 100, okay? Because this shit happens. I know. Anyways, so instead of being like, you're a fucking piece of shit, that's not how that works. That's just you being aggressive. What you'd have to do instead is really sit with how you feel and express that from a place of peace and compassion and understanding. So you can say, hey, I'm actually having a really hard time accepting the fact that you don't want to speak to me as often as I would like to speak to you. I am also having uncomfortable feelings regarding the possibility of you sleeping with other women. I don't like the idea of sleeping with somebody who is sleeping with other people. And as much as I would like to see you again, I don't think it's really in my best interest from a mental or emotional standpoint. You just say it like that. You just say, like, this is how I'm feeling. I, am uncomfortable with this. I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. Just say your authentic truth from a place of understanding and compassion. Like, it's not their fault. They are who they are and they are on their own journey. And no one is wrong and no one is right. That's just not how it works. It's just people who are living their own lives. So you say, hey, this is how I'm feeling about the situation. I'm uncomfortable. Now, if that person is like, well, I would love to make an effort to speak to you more, and I'd love to see you more, and I'm not sleeping with anybody else, and blah, blah, blah. If they're willing to come and accept your authentic communication and maybe make adjustments and work with you on it, that is alignment. If they want to combat it or be argumentative or whatever, that's not alignment. And you have to just go, this isn't working for me. You have to understand that when it is an aligned relationship of any variety, personal, platonic, or otherwise, in the last year and a half, I have just walked from many a business opportunity, collaboration, friendship, romantic interest, and this has just been the lesson that has been drilled into me. Like, if it doesn't fucking align, you have to walk, because there are people in all categories. There are places and things that are in alignment with your soul's purpose. And as you begin to just kind of seek that out and leave what doesn't work and then find what does, you'll start to find the things that really just click. The things that really just work, the things that are actually in alignment. And as you follow that path, as you just go with what works, more information regarding your path and your worth and your mission will be revealed to you authentically and naturally. It'll be a natural unraveling. You start to talk to people who are in alignment with you and are on the same page as you, and then they inspire you in some way that gives you an idea that sparks inside of you, that takes you to this place, or makes you do this thing, and then you do that thing, and then that leads to another revelation. And it's just literally following the path in front of you that allows you the discovery of yourself. When you are trying really hard to make situations, places, people, and things work that are not working, you are not loving yourself. You are not getting to know yourself, because if you were getting to know yourself, you would be doing the things that make you feel good or that work for you. And that's where the aforementioned idea about alignment is what makes you feel good isn't entirely wrong. It's not wrong to say that, but it misses a lot of other information. If something is not working for you and it doesn't feel good and you're having a reaction to it, Look at the reaction, see if it's a trigger or a shadow. We'll get into all of that later as well. And just go with what flows. People, places, and things. And the more you hold on to things that don't fucking work, that don't fit, what you try to force it, after it's long past expired, you are only delaying your own progress, your own joy, your own happiness, and the discovery of your soul's purpose. If you would like to see the expansion of this channel and support the growth of it, it is super, super appreciated and super, super, super helpful if you just hit the like button or hit the subscribe button or leave a comment. Any combination or any singular one of those things is genuinely really helpful for me, for the channel, for the algorithms, etc. And if you want to go a step further, you can go follow me on Instagram. That's all I have today for the initial video about alignment. I am going to be continuing this series in the next following weeks leading up to the winter solstice, where we start a new series about shadow work that'll all kind of tie together. Now until the end of the year, I have a whole content plan that is going to go over alignment, your soul's purpose, and shadow work, as well as a bunch of moon rituals and period card readings and other stuff as well in there. I'm great. I'm back. This is my official relaunch. I have a lot of plans. I'm feeling really inspired and really creative, and I'm feeling kind of aligned. So thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.